My name is Ivan, and I'm currently a final year student in the English department. And I'll share the subject that I think was interesting to you. So this was the language in social context course that I took this course when I was in year one. And then there are some really interesting concepts that are related to the society and also the language, how they interact in this course. I'll share the interesting concepts with you later. So in this course, it is mainly focused on, for example, how does language affect society, and also in reverse, how does society affect our language, and also how do the audience, the context, and our thoughts influence the way that we communicate. Because there are some particular phenomena that may appear when we are talking with other people, but we may not have even noticed this. For example, this picture shows the one of the concepts of the formality scale. In some informal situations, or you're talking with some your friends or your family, you have low formality. And for example, you're talking to your best friend, you'll say howdy, or just hello, or how's it going? But in some more formal situations, or you're talking some upper level people, like your professor, you would tend to speak more politely. For example, like good morning to you, sir. But you would not say this to your best friend, right? So this is something that is happening in our daily life, but you may not have even noticed this. And another interesting concept that I learned through this course is the language continuum. And for example, this is the map of the America. And then for different states, they would use different kind of like dialects to say to present a same meaning. For example, in the more southern parts of the U.S., they will say you all, but in the more northern part of the U.S., they tend to speak you guys. So this is some kind of a regional dialect that you would see not only in the U.S. but also the rest of the world in almost every country, including China. And there are some lexical differences as well. For example, the idea that I remember the most is the language border. For example, in Hong Kong, most of us, we speak Cantonese, right, for Hong Kong people. But you would see, if you go to the Guangzhou province or Shenzhen, you would also see some people, they will speak Cantonese as well, even though they may not sound as the same as the Cantonese spoken in Hong Kong, but you would know that they're still speaking Cantonese. While in some farther provinces like Beijing or Shanghai, you would notice that a lot less people are speaking Cantonese. So there is a gradual difference between the border. There are some physical borders that may impair or to affect the level of this language continuum. But yeah, this is something that is common between around different countries as well. And the assignments that I want to showcase to you guys is a styles register and accommodation theory essay that I have written with another groupmate. So in this essay, I want to talk about mostly the accommodations theory and the styles. And for the styles, like we have just mentioned about, one example is the formality. For example, there is an example in my assignment with my conversation with my friend. And during lunchtime, Andy asked me, it's lunchtime now. Let's go to canteen for lunch, brother. And then, yay, I want to eat roasted chicken rice. And then, me too. Oh, and there are some foul languages in our conversation. And then I forgot that we have made an appointment with Dr. Shan about my assignments. And then as you can see in a conversation, there is some foul languages that we use because we are very good friends, but also you can see there are also some code switching. And code switching means that you are talking mainly in Chinese, right? In these sentences, but you would add some different languages in your sentence. For example, assignments, to submit assignments, and then how about we go to the canteen for lunch? And the canteen, we don't say it in Cantonese or Chinese, but we use English. So there is some reason behind this, because our formality scale is quite low and our solidarity is quite low as well, and which means our relationship is close and we have a lower social distance. So another thing about this concept is the accommodation theory. Is about the language that we used when talking to different groups of people. For example, in this case, me and Andy are good friends and we both are native speakers of Cantonese. So it is normal that we will communicate. So this is a brief introduction to my assignments. And because in this course, we didn't have an examination, so mostly our projects are about group presentations and some essays. So this also is related to a valuable experience. For some hard skills, you really learn some literacy skills like reading and writing. Like I just said, you would read a lot of literatures and also write a lot of essays. And this can also strengthen your writing skills and your reading capability. And also, you could also learn some key sociolinguistic concepts. And the concepts that I mentioned are just only a few of them. There are also many other lectures that can teach you any more interesting concepts. And also, because you are writing an academic essay, you will also learn some academic writing skills and also some formal languages and referencing styles. And for the soft skills, you would mostly learn negotiation and communication, because like I said, there are a lot of group projects in our subjects. You need to communicate with your group mates and need to negotiate with them in case you are holding different opinion. And in my assignment that I just showed to you, this is our real conversation in real life. So we just record our conversation and then to do our assignments. So this means that our concepts can be actually applied to our real life. And this is, I think, the most interesting part of this course. And for another soft skills, you could also be equipped with a global outlook and cultural awareness, because in this course, you are not only looking at your own country's phenomenon or some language issues, but also for other countries and the entire world. So you will explore more about other countries, their cultural practices. And the last thing is the independent thinking, because when you're writing an essay, you need to read through many literatures and you need to choose which one is most useful for your assignments. So this can also practice your independent thinking and makes you to cultivate your critical mind. So I think this is about my sharing and something that I've experienced in this course. Thank you.